Batman Arkham City is a 2001 AAA open-world action-adventure game, which means that it's a rich, big, diverse game that isn't really about anything other than setting a pointer on the map, going to it, then doing a menial arcadey task, over and over again. Still, inside this broader loop, it hides one that's a lot more fun by asking the player to look and having them see. It starts slowly, gliding around the penitentiary city, hopping from a location to another when, with the corner of your eye, you catch a Riddler trophy and you stop in your tracks to get it. That's part of it. That's noticing. Much of the game is about noticing. The rhythmic melee combat demands you to notice. Other action-adventure games, such as God of War, Devil May Cry or Onimusha, are a lot more demanding. They test the player's acuity of vision, reflexes, memory, and more than anything else, mastery of self. They ask the player to be able to play the game inside their minds and unleash a flurry of complex moves, reacting to actions the enemies only have just committed. In the Arkham games, most fights don't go that way. There is no retreat inside the mind. Rather, the player has to be focused on the world in order to notice if the enemies have body armor, shields, stun buttons, when they pick up knives or guns, and when they're ready to attack. Dispatching them is easy enough, the challenge is to be sufficiently present in the world. But this is only scratching the surface. Noticing the Riddler trophy is one thing, getting to it is a whole other deal, and that's when the game is at its best, for me at least. Because then, the game is asking you to look. Again, rarely the solutions require feats of precise timing and coordination, like in say, Guacamelee. They just ask you to look at the city, sometimes through different eyes, and see how it all fits, what you can interact with, what is hidden beneath the surface. The game asks you to peel the layers of the environment and find the links that bind and engines that animate. After that, usually the solution is trivial. Just seeing is understanding. Even winning the encounters with multiple armed enemies is about looking for guns, looking for hiding spots, vents and breakable walls. The challenge isn't as much in managing to remain stealthy, to learn the enemy's patterns or set up clever ambushes, but in managing to see. The epitome of this approach are the riddles. Even if the player looks for the Riddler's collaborators and chooses to interrogate them, marking the vantage point on the map, they still have to look and literally see what the game wants them to see. At times, the player must shift and contort his point of view, gaining a new understanding. The Soulsborne games are doing a similar thing, Bloodborne especially. Granted, it's so much more about archaeology and to get the most... not the most. To get anything out of that aspect of the games, it requires the players to have a certain kind of personality, with a certain kind of engagement with the world. They present worlds with abyssal depths, if you dare to look and stare at them until your eyes hurt. But the loop is hardly as immediate. The enemies are more fearsome, the environment is much more treacherous and requires careful navigation. The roam, notice, look, understand loop is breaking apart and spread out so much that it isn't really a loop. In Arkham City, it's not even about this space packed upon itself through shortcuts opened up thanks to new powers and gadgets like in Soul River or even the original Arkham Asylum. The map can be traversed from end to end in a matter of minutes. But doing so again and again, the player notices a Riddler trophy, a Typhoon camera, an ongoing crime, a ringing phone. Then they had to look, they had to see, they had to understand. And through this understanding, the world looks differently. Now, the game lets you experience the world through other eyes, through Catwoman's, Harley Quinn's, Robin's and Nightwing's. But their point of view is similar. All they see are violent thugs and cameras spying on them personally. And I have to think, how would this city look through Bruce Wayne's eyes? What would Bruce Wayne Arkham City want the player to see? What would the game want players to understand? How would we shape the world if our means of interacting with it was something other than armored gloves and jacked batarangs?